This video lesson is mainly designed for Cbse Grade 10 Geography, Chapter 7, The Lifelines of National Economy. The learning objective is to explore the different modes of transportation, and learning outcome will be able to compare and contrast the road transport with rail transport. Before we begin, let's recall what are known as lifelines of national economy and why. The means of transport and communication are called the lifelines of nation and its economy because they are the requirements for the growth and development. Goods and services do not shift from supply houses to demand regions on their own. It therefore supports trade and transport. A country's rate of progress depends on the amount of goods and services as well as the movement across the space. Look at the flow chart. Movement of these goods and services can be over three domains of the earth. They are land, water, and air. Under land, we have roadways, railways, and pipelines. And under water, we have the inland and overseas. Under the air, we have the domestic airways and international airways. The domestic airways are further subdivided into public undertaking and private airlines. Effective means of transportation is, however, are the basic requirements for the quick growth. Transport and communication are the lifelines of national economy because number one, they help in increasing cooperation and assistance between the countries. That is, they bring the world closer, and it provides easy movement of goods and materials between the countries. And number three, it promotes trade and commerce within the country. And number four, it reduces the distances by bringing the world closer. Number five, it enhances both production and distribution of goods. And the last is, it helps in the movement of large number of people over longer distances. Now let's have a look at the transport system in India. There are five means of transport system. They are roadways, railways, waterways, airways, and pipelines. India has one of the largest road networks in the world, aggregating to about 54.7 lakh kilometer. The six categories of roads in India are number one, the Golden Quadrilateral, number two, national highways, and number three, state highways, and number four, district roads, and number five, village roads, number six, border roads. Have a look at the Golden Quadrilateral Superhighways. Golden Quadrilateral Superhighways link Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, Mumbai by 6-lane superhighways. The north-south corridors linking Srinagar, that is Jammu Kashmir, to Tamil Nadu, or Srinagar to Kanyakumari, and the east-west corridors linking Porbandar to Silchar, that is Porbandar in Gujarat to Silchar in Assam. And here the Jhansi is the junction for the north-south as well as for the east-west corridor. Let's think and say the answer for the following questions. What are the six categories of roads in India? The six categories of roads in India are Golden quadrilateral, national highways, state highways, district roads, village roads, and border roads. What is Golden Quadrilateral? 6-lane highways connecting 4 metropolitan cities of India, that is Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, and Mumbai. What does it connect? It connects Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, Mumbai. Under this project, what are the 2 corridors? Number 1 is North-South corridor and number 2 is East-West corridors. Which are their terminals? The North-South corridor connects Srinagar to Kanyakumari. The East-West corridor connects Porbandar and Silchar. National highways. The national highways links the extreme parts of the country. National highways are a network of trunk roads that are laid and maintained by the Central Public Works Department, that is CPWD. It's a primary road system constructed and maintained by the CPWD, that is central government. The historical Sarshasuri mark is called the National Highway number 1 between Delhi and Amritsar. The NH7 is the longest national highway in India with a length of 3,745 kilometers, which is running from Srinagar in the north to Kanyakumari in the south. It's renamed as NH44. The importance of national highways or the features of national highways. It connects the one part of the country to the another, and it's built and maintained by the central government. And there are 2% of the total length of the road network, but carry 42% of traffic and goods. And they are the major arteries of goods and service in the country. The third one is the state highways. State highways link state capital with district headquarters, and it is constructed and maintained by the State Public Works Department, that is PWD, in state and union territories. The fourth one is district roads. These roads connect the district headquarters with other places of the district, and it is maintained by the Jilla Parishad. The fifth one is other roads. These roads link villages with towns, and these roads received special impetus under the Pradhan Mantri Gramin Sadak Yojana to link each and every village to a town by all-weather motorable roads. And the sixth one, border roads. It was constructed and maintained by the Border Road Organization in the border areas. It was set up in 1960 for the development of northern and northeastern border strategic importance. It plays a major role in the accessibility to remote areas and economic development of border areas. The importance or the significance of border roads. The border roads are the index of development of strategic areas on the borders. They have increased accessibilities in the areas of difficult terrain. They have helped the economic development of these remote areas. They provide man and material to the armed forces stationed in the border areas. They also act as arteries for supply of food, arms, and ammunitions to the forces. They provide fast connectivity between the front and the base of the armed forces. What is road density? Length of roads per 100 square kilometer of an area is called as a road density. The road density differ from region to region, from area to area, from place to place, and one country to another country. It's not same. It's highly uneven. So the Kerala have the highest road density, that is 375 kilometer per 100 square kilometer. And Jammu Kashmir has the lowest 10 kilometer. And the national average is 75 kilometer per 100 square kilometer in 1996 to 97. And this is about the classification of roads on the basis of raw materials. The roads are classified into two on the basis of raw material. They are metal roads and unmetal roads. Metal roads are surface roads. The surface roads are built of coal, stones, and by cement. These roads are under the control of a state, a central government, or by corporation. And these roads give a stimulus to the trade and other business activities. They are all weathered roads. That is, they are trafficable in all weather seasons. Examples: state highways, Sharsha Suri Marg Road, and the roads of Delhi, etc. The next we will move to the unmetal roads or unsurfaced roads. They are made up of earth and mud. They join villages to the state highways, and these roads are under the control of district boards and gram panchayats, and these roads are helpful in transporting agricultural products to the markets and necessaries from market to the doorstep. The rural roads are generally unsurfaced roads. They are unserviceable during the rainy seasons. Example, rural roads, agriculture field roads. The problems of road transport are: number one, the roads are highly inadequate. That means we don't have enough roads. And second, the 50% of the roads are unmetalled. And the third is we don't have enough national highways. And the fourth is the roads are highly congested in cities. And the last one, the roads are narrow and old bridges and culverts which needs to be modernized. Check whether you are capable of writing or knowing the answer for all these questions. After strengthening the content, you can move to the next slide. Try to answer this question. The road transport scores over railways in many ways. Justify your answer. Number one, its ease in building and maintenance. Number two, the construction cost is lesser than the railways. And number three, it is capable of constructing in any undulating topography, negotiating the higher gradients. And number five, it's ideal for short distance. And number six, it provides door to door service. Thus, the cost of loading and unloading is cheaper. And finally, the road transport is also used as a feeder to the other modes of transport. And it's economical for the shorter distances. Okay, let's learn about the railways in India. The railways are the principal mode of transportation for carrying the huge loads and bulky goods for long and short distances in India. Railways have become more important in Indian economy. Let's discuss the railway network in India. There are 7,031 railway stations and the route length is 63,221 kilometer and the locomotives we have is 7,817 and the passenger service include 5,321. The other coach vehicles 4,904 and the wagons 2,28,170. The first train between Mumbai to Thane, it's in 1853. It covers a 34-kilometer distance. The Indian Railways is reorganized into 16 zones. The three gauges are narrow gauge, meter gauge, and broad gauge. The narrow gauge is 0.762 or 0.610, and the meter gauge is 1 meter, and the broad gauge is 1.67 meter. Factors that influence the railway network in India. The distribution pattern of railway network in India or in the country has been largely influenced by the physiography, that is the topography of the landscape, and economic and administrative factors also. So why the northern plains have the dense network of railways? Number one, it has level land which is easy for the construction of railway network, and it has a high and dense population, and it is rich in the agriculture too. And what are the hindrances that faced in the northern plains? Because that area has a large number of river basins and numerous bridges. So those areas, it's some areas we find it difficult to construct the railway network because of the large rivers and numerous bridges. The construction of railways are difficult in the hill tracts, plateau regions, Himalayan region, and in the swampy areas, deserts, forested areas, as well as in mountainous areas. The Himalayas are unsuitable for the railway tracks because of high relief, less population, and low level of economic opportunities. And the Konkan Railway, it's helped in the development of West Coast. That is the most economic region. And the problems that faced in that area is, they cannot construct the railway. It is difficult to construct the railways because of the shrinking of track, and those areas are always subjected to landslides. The other unfavorable areas in India are the sandy plains of western Rajasthan, swamps of Gujarat, and forested tracts of Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Orissa, and Jharkhand. The advantages of railways. It's a principal mode of transport for freight and passengers. It's possible to conduct multifarious activities like business, sightseeing, and for transport of goods over a longer distance. A great integrating force connecting the different parts of the country that is accelerating the pace of development of agriculture industry. It is a connecting bridge for the agriculture industry, and its problems are uh, the people used to travel without tickets, theft and damaging of railway property, and pulling the chain unnecessarily to stop the train. These are some of the important questions based on the topic. Try to answer the given questions and move ahead. The next is the pipelines. The importance of pipeline transport in India. In the past, they were used to transport water to cities and industries. Now, these are used for transporting crude oil, petroleum products, and natural gas from oil and natural gas fields to the refineries, fertilizer factories, and big thermal power plants. Solids can also be transported through a pipeline when converted into slurry. Let's see the advantages of pipelines. Except high initial cost, the pipelines are preferred due to the following reasons. The running cost is minimal, no transshipment loss, no delays, and regular supply. The three important networks. Number one, Assam to Kanpur, vary through Guwahati, Baruni, and Allahabad. And number two is from Salaya in Gujarat to Jalandhar in Punjab. And the third one is from Hajira in Gujarat to Jagadishpur in UP through Vijaypur in MP. Okay, let's answer these questions. State three major pipelines. Number one is Guwahati to Kanpur, and number two is Salaya to Jalandhar, and number three is Hajira to Jagadishpur. What do they carry? They carry oil, gas, petroleum, water, milk, and coal in slurry, etc. Mention the branches of gas pipeline, HVG pipeline. Kota in Rajasthan and Babrala in UP. In this topic, we learned the importance of roadways, railways, and the pipelines, and their advantages and disadvantages, and the factors influencing the construction of railways and roadways. In the next topic, we will be learning about the waterways and airways.